Roses, and I'm here to talk about mark cards. My profession is such that I've made a lifetime study of cards that can be only read using invisible inks and contact lenses or special eyeglasses or modified cameras. I started in this hobby at the age of 10 with an early interest in using these techniques to perform magic. As I got more sophisticated, these inventions and discoveries that I made became actually a threat to casinos. And as time elapsed, I found a niche in being able to offer casinos protection against these discoveries. As a result, over the years, technology has advanced, and now out of countries like Romania and Russia and China and Korea, many different types of invisible inks and modified cameras are being offered on the internet. These have become a major threat to casinos. Fortunately, I had a head start, and I have developed methods not only to read these marks, but devices so that casinos can then protect themselves against being a victim of these types of marks. When I was young, I started out, as you can see here in my cabinet, with an early interest in Superman and in X-ray spec glasses. Now, some of these things are just novelties, but actually, over the years, these things, I have made discoveries to actually use these things to detect marked cards. These are some of the glasses that I've developed, and as you can see, it takes many different styles of inks in order to make invisible inks. We're not here today, we won't have time to discuss the science behind all of these inks and how they're made, but we are here to show you the devices that I have developed that will help to make it an easy matter for you and your personnel to discover these marks and protect your casino from being a victim of these marks that are coming out of Asia. What you're looking at is an assortment of the specialized equipment that is needed to coat eyeglasses for reading invisible inks on cards. Also, this is the same equipment that will test the frequencies of inks that are invisible and that can only be seen using contact lenses, eyeglasses, or modified cameras. You don't need to know a sophisticated science, because what I've done to make it easy for casino personnel is I've developed a device that will find most of the marks on cards. I call this the Inspecta card scanner. We're going to have a demonstration of this and some of the remarkable things that it's capable of doing. What you're looking at is a cabinet that's completely full of special filters and mark cards that are made with invisible inks that can only be seen with custom contact lenses or eyeglasses. More than 90,000 decks of cards have come out of Asia alone in the last couple of years. As you can see, it's going to be an undaunting task for casinos to keep up with technology. Fortunately, we have a device known as the Inspecta card scanner that's capable of finding most of these marks, and an Inspecta card kit which will find the remainder of these types of marks. We're going to show you a brief demonstration on how to use a special device that I've developed known as the Inspecta card scanner. Let's come in close and I'll share with you what it's capable of doing. We'll turn on a light source and we'll focus on the cards on the left, which is what the cards look like without the scanner. Now moving from left to right, you're now looking at what the cards look like through the Inspecta card scanner. And this is what the Inspecta card scanner looks like. Inside the manual will be complete instructions on how to care for your device and how to use it. There's 3 special types of mark cards that come with the kit for training purposes. These cards include complete instructions on how to go about finding the mark. That will be the same process that you use in the future for any type of your mark that you're looking for. Let's take a look through one of the Inspecta card scanner lens and show you what it's capable of. When you're using the device, you can either simply hold it to your eye and rotate the little knob. The knob needs to be pointing away from you. And when you find the mark will appear. The other way to use the scanner is to mount it onto a cell phone. You can use either the little clip that comes with the device, which can be held to the device with rubber bands, or with a little tab that's on the bottom of the clip. It also is possible to take and buy yourself a cell phone cover for whatever type of cell phone you're using, and to cut 2 little slits in it that you can slip the little tabs through, and then simply slide the Inspecta card scanner into the little clip. That'll hold it in place for safekeeping. So you can use rubber bands, you can simply hold it to the phone, or you can use a cell phone cover with slits in it. I'm going to turn the device around and I'm going to rotate the dial and show you what happens. I've taken the Inspecta card scanner and I'm holding it up to the cell phone, and we're going to rotate the dial at this point to show you how and what happens. Notice there's different filters. When you hit the correct setting, as you can see, the mark will appear. As you see, we have an ace, and the 2 dots on the sides indicate a spades. So if we turn... In this first demonstration, we're going to use a special daub that comes in a liquid. And in this case, I've placed some of the daub on a tiny little sponge that's mounted inside of a little tin that we call a daub tin. We also have a toothpick, and we'll be demonstrating with a toothpick. Instead of a sponge, we could also use a Q-tip. The little daub tin is hidden on your body. In this case, we have a chem card, the Jack of Diamonds. You'll notice the back. I have the setting preset for the Inspecta card scanner on the number 5 setting, which happens to be the setting needed to read this ink. So let's take a little bit of the daub and put it on my fingertip. You notice in this case the daub is pretty much invisible, unlike some. Now we'll take the card, and let's say that we were playing blackjack. We could simply mark the card by touching the daub on the back of the card. If we were playing poker, we simply touch the card wherever you want. Take a little daub, put it on your finger. You could put a line on there. You can put it just about anywhere that you want. One of the things that makes this daub interesting is that you can take something as small as a toothpick and mark the cards. You can see here a tiny little dot. These little dots, although invisible to the human eye, can be seen using the number 5 filter on your Inspecta card scanner from up to 8 feet away. So it doesn't take a large mark when you're using special daubs such as you see here. Notice, if you will, too, that I'm using a fluorescent light source to see this daub. This particular daub does not show up under incandescent regular type of lighting. It takes fluorescent lighting to activate this particular daub. Let's finish looking at what's known as a fluorescent daub. Now let's take a look at what's known as an absorption daub. This particular daub is top secret, and it uses a small special type of powder. This powder is taken and placed on the back of something like a poker chip or on the back of paper money, or in this case I've taken and I've placed it on the inside flap of a match cover. Simply take the daub and rub your finger on it, and you can now proceed to mark the cards during a game. Let's take the red one and mark it right here, and we'll take the blue one and we'll mark it toward the center. These marks could be used for blackjack or poker, whatever you wish. Now we're going to rotate the Inspecta card scanner lens to the number 7 setting, which is more of a burgundy type of color. First we'll take a look at the red card, and you notice now that you see, and the further away I go, the easier you do see the daub mark on the card. This works under both fluorescent and incandescent lighting. This is under incandescent, and we'll move it over here and show you that you can also see it under fluorescent lighting. Now we'll take this blue card that we marked in the center, and we'll back off, and we'll show you that you can see that daub mark, and you can also see it under the fluorescent setting. So this powdered daub is very dangerous because it can be used in a game during play, and it cannot be seen with the human eye. We're now going to take a look at a very special top secret daub that's been around for many years, used by the top professionals in casinos. It doesn't take any special contact lens or glasses to read this mark. This type of daub is read by training the eyes and taking them slightly out of focus. The daub is a black color, and it's known as N-daub. By taking some of the daub and placing it on a card, in this case we'll put it on the center of the card, you can see that it'd be difficult to find with the human eye. But I found that by taking the number 2 setting on the Inspecta card scanner, you can find the mark. You cannot find this mark using an infrared camera or a black light, because it's a neutral density daub, covers a wide spectrum, and only the special training of the eye can see it. However, if you take your camera and slowly back away and move forward with the number 2 setting over the lens, as you back away, you'll notice that there's a black dot in the center of the card. That's the black N-daub. So that's one little trick that I have been able to find for finding that mark. Technology is advancing every day. With the advancement, it's more important than ever to try to keep up with all the types of marks that could and probably will eventually show up at the gaming tables. So far, you've seen how to detect such marks as daub, juice, flash, and shade. Here's a highly sophisticated printed mark on a card that recently came out of China. It's especially advanced because now they're able to make a dark mark that no longer can be found using an infrared camera or a black light. And yet the mark shows up very clear through a sky blue lens. Let's rotate the dial to take a look at the mark. This card is included in your kit for you to examine. Simply take and mount your scanner to your phone or hold it to your eye, and when you finally find the mark, it'll show up as a dark mark. Here we have a J and then 2 marks to indicate the suit. In this case, that suit would be a spade, Jack of spades. Let's take a look at that mark using a black light to show you what happens. Notice, if you will, the mark is invisible to a black light. By the same token, it cannot be found with an infrared scanner. It takes this very special sky blue narrow band filter to find it. So with technology being what it is, it's more important than ever to have the right equipment on hand to find these many types of marks. China, Asia, Russia, and Romania and Korea have all come up with marking systems and sold more than 90,000 decks alone in the last couple of years. It's interesting to note that you can send your cards to China. It can be from any casino or anywhere, and they'll readily mark them for you and have them back to you within a 10-day turnaround. One thing when you're checking cards that you might want to do is mount your Inspecta card scanner onto your phone and hold the phone like so. This will let you wander around, and it will videotape from right here or photograph as you're walking around the casino. We offer a very special advanced class to tell you more techniques and more ways to use your equipment. But for now, you can see it's a necessary thing, and we hope that every casino eventually realizes that this is the equipment that's needed to keep up with the latest technology. The complete deluxe Inspecta card kit. The kit comes with a special light called the Inspecta card mini light that has 2 lights, both an incandescent and a fluorescent. This makes it convenient for looking at cards under the best possible lighting conditions on your desk. It comes with the same manual that comes with the Inspecta card scanner when you buy the kit. You'll receive a special counterfeit money detector blacklight, the best on the market, that can be used to detect both poker chips, marks on dice, as well as marked cards and many other things in your casino, including money. It comes with a very special cell phone that's been modified to see infrared. So we'll turn on the cell phone, and for best results when using the infrared light, we'll turn off any existing light. Notice, if you will, I have a special little device, and this comes with the kit. It shoots an invisible photon beam. Notice you can't see it with the camera, but when you put it under the Inspecta card light, it's very bright. Now, if I take this light and I take a playing card and pass it between the Inspecta card photon beam, you'll notice that it renders the card completely transparent. This photon beam is extremely dangerous in casinos because it can be used to aim at the front of a card shoe, and in so doing, render the top card of the deck transparent to a hidden cell phone that in turn will tell the player what card lies on top. So between all of the devices in the kit, you should be able to find almost any mark and be well protected against being a victim of any type of card scam coming out of Asia. I'd like to give a special thanks to Richard Marcus for allowing me to present this video for your enjoyment.